Hey, welcome here, so nice to see you. I'm Michael and this is the Tech4O channel, the place where we review cool tech. And actually this time I'm from a very different angle. It's because I'm shooting this with QooCam. Sounds like a cool cam, but it's written in a very different way. It's a 360-degree camera. The question is, do you really need a 360 camera? And we'll find the answer to this question. Let's go! So we're starting the review with a microphone test. There is a bus coming by, so that's why the background noise comes from. These are rather ideal conditions, and honestly it's one of the best microphones in any kind of camera I've heard so far. It's amazing. The quality of this microphone is amazing. That's why today I don't have any external microphone. By the way, external microphones are not supported through the QooCam, because it has a micro USB port, meaning that you can't connect anything external. As you probably know, should be either mini USB or Type-C, which is not present with this camera. But anyways, testing the second interesting mode, which is called 3D, which uses again two lenses, and you have to post-process the footage. And the good part is that you can refocus on some of the objects in post-processing, which is pretty cool. Works similarly to taking a 360 photo on a smartphone. Pretty nice. But the topic was the microphone quality, and I hope you already have a good idea how the embedded microphone works. Unlike most of the reviews I do for outdoor and action cameras, I will put the software topic as a primary one, and then we will discuss the hardware and the experience I got throughout this month of testing. And during the video, there of course will be a lot of samples to justify my words and to also give you an idea how things work and look like. The camera appeared in the summer of 2018, and hardware-wise, it was excellent and still is. Software-wise, used to be not that much. During this year, a lot of good things happened to the software, both on the app and firmware level, and this deserves to be praised because we don't see many companies that manage to catch up that much with shortfallings. 360-degree camera means that you have visibility of your entire surroundings. Feels a little like you're going back and forth in Google Street View. There already are a lot of 360 cameras on the market, but too few which are actually usable. This is because often the software for post-production is overcomplicated and there are too few people to use VR headsets or any other 360 playback capable devices. Most of us just want to see cool footage from cool angles. The first mainstream 360 camera that did change how things happen was the Gopro Fusion, where you can select part of the whole 360 scene and crop it to something that you can watch on a smartphone or your TV. The benefit is that unlike action cameras, which can shoot whatever is in front of them, you can go and select in post-production the things that you like. Top view or side view or looking backwards, you can pick the part of the scene that matters to you. So, the most important connection between you as a creator and the awesome footage you may get is the smartphone app, also called QooCam. And I need to underline that most of what we are going to watch is produced with this smartphone app. And in almost any case, you need to use a post-production software because otherwise your videos will look like this, as if someone has trapped you inside the housing of this thing, which looks like a very stylish female pleasure device. So now you understand why 360-degree footage needs adjustment, because we film everything around us, but our displays can show just part of that. This is where you can become really creative. The first section I will start with, and I believe you should start with as well, the tutorial section, which actually tells you what the app can do, and these tutorials are short and simple and will take you only 10 minutes of learning, which can save you hours from post-processing or refilming the scene. Most of the time, I usually avoid using a phone for such purposes, but this works surprisingly easy and intuitive. The great thing is that you have a few ready presets that turn the scene into something even cooler, like this 360-degree roll, or others that simply change the perspective. So instead of you manually adjusting whatever you need, you can apply the preset from the Smart Clip functions, and it will look like this, kind of turning boring footage into something more dynamic. There also is the manual editor, which in my opinion fulfills the requirements most GoPro fans would use and want to have, and being great at that is a must for the QooCam, because GoPro Fusion is at about the same price as the QooCam. I have tried most of the functions. They seem to work fine, like the option to select an object and that object to be tracked throughout the video, meaning that you can place the camera on the ground, start walking around, and then easily have yourself being tracked by the software. Note that if your phone is too weak and the hardware is a few years old, it will be sluggish and it will take a long time to get the files exported. Of course, from the app you have most of the controls about videos and photos. With the option to switch between resolutions and modes, it can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second. Note that it doesn't mean you can get 4K 60 FPS's final result when watching on monitor, because the whole 360 around you is in 4K, meaning that whatever you crop will be at lower resolution. And this is why the footage doesn't look as crisp and sharp as other action cameras that I review on the channel. There are a lot of modes missing, no time-lapse video, and the shortest setting is 5 seconds for the photo time-lapse, meaning that if you intend to try hyperlapse, it makes no sense. The camera should be rather static to give you some usable footage. With 5-second increments for a 10-second long time-lapse of 30 frames per second, you need to wait like 30 minutes at least. But let's say I don't want to be too picky here, because this is designed to shoot video and that's our priority, and it's also well implemented. Furthermore, you have the possibility to shoot photos which are in RAW format. Now, after the software, some hardware details. Despite my attempts to get specific model information, I only got the confirmation that the sensors used are Sony IMX 1x2.5 inches. Not sure about the processor, but performance is good and backed by the embedded 2600 mAh battery, which enables recording of up to 3 hours. I didn't know this up front and thought for some time that there's something wrong with the battery counter, because it was always above 60%. It was just that the discharge level is really slow thanks to the large battery. You can guess by the unboxing that it is a quality product, all metal body with nicely designed protective cap, which can act as the most basic stand. Really well done. There's the manual, USB cables, and a velvet carrying back. And you can optionally get the selfie stick and even get a Bluetooth remote, I'd say at a fair price, microSD slot on the side, and the charging port, which is unfortunately micro USB. I say unfortunately because Type-C is already a well-settled standard in the last months, but of course this is not a deal breaker. 2 buttons, this is the power button, smart idea that the camera powers on with Wi-Fi off, that extends the battery life. To enable the Wi-Fi, shortly press the power button and you will see the LED going on, and you can of course connect through the smartphone app and see absolutely everything that you want. On the back, there's the shutter button, short press for a photo, long press for a video, and you will hear different beeps to indicate successful start for each of these modes. Disadvantage? Almost always pressing the shutter button results into putting your finger on top of the lens on the other side. Luckily, this will not disturb the main mode, because this lens is only used in 3D mode, which is the other thing that is worth mentioning. And this is how switching between 360 and 3D mode works. Nice! Think of 3D mode as an enhanced wide-angle mode. In the end, the QooCam can do things that are similar to an action camera, but with the need to stitch that in the software. The benefit is that the cam generates a depth map in 180-degree 3D mode, and there's the possibility to refocus in post-production. This is, by the way, the computer software, which is much more basic compared to the smartphone app and surprisingly has way less features than what you can do on the phone, but workflow can be a little faster. In the end, together with more footage, some words about the experience. Stabilization is GoPro-like. It's something that I can probably call rock steady, as it is cool to say lately. Image quality is fine if you don't need true 4K cropped footage. The 360 capabilities are wonderful, and the process for creating videos is straightforward, and it is the first 360 camera that I test and enjoy using, and didn't have to spend days to figure out how to use the software effectively. Build quality is superb. In my opinion, this is perhaps the best in-class embedded microphone. And yes, it is quite expensive, will be more than $400 if you want a selfie stick and remote, but it's in my opinion a very decent competitor to the Insta360 One X and the GoPro Fusion. So I hope this video has helped you to understand whether you need a 360 camera or not. If VR is priority, definitely it is a great choice. It's not an action cam alternative, it is more like an enhancement that empowers your creativity to shoot from weird angles and make boring videos to be much more fun. But if you're more conservative and you like the straight shapes and you hate the fisheye effect, you will prefer to stick to other types of cameras. That's been all for this episode. It was fun looking at you from these crazy angles, and let me show you the most valuable feedback section with the like, dislike, share and subscribe buttons somewhere below. I'm Michael, and I'm looking forward to see you here again. Cheers!